Then I believe Silas Young turned him into a AA spine buster onto 2 chairs that were set up.
Yes,
and that was pretty good. The AA spine buster, it's just a classic for me. It's one of my favorite moves when executed right.
You gotta thank Mr. Arn Anderson for that.
I love Arn. The next one was the second best match on the card. I think we would all agree.
Second best match of the night was
Dragon Lee and Jay White versus Volador, and I'm probably not getting that right, and Will Ospreay.
And I am a huge fan of Ospreay. When he won the Junior Classics in New Japan, I followed him throughout that whole tournament, and I was nothing but impressed with him.
I'm impressed with Jay White.
Jay White too. When he had a match last week against Jay Briscoe, and that was the showstopper for that show. And with him coming to Supercard and then putting on the match that he did with Ospreay and his tag partner and the other Lucha,
Dragon Lee and Volador.
Yeah, Dragon Lee and Volador. It was a pretty classic match, especially when Ospreay did a freaking moonsault to the from just standing and moonsaulted onto everybody.
Yeah,
and that's where me and Will here we just pretty much just did a Home Alone moment.
I have here. I called it a spot fest. Now, different people are going to take that different ways. I feel like spot fest has a negative meaning, and this one wasn't. The spots flowed fairly well. I have stole the show.
As of right now.
Yeah, well, at that time, it had stole the show. Was a very exciting match. I have must-see. If I had a recommendation out of the weekend, besides the main event of Supercard, it's this one. Go find this match. Go watch it. If you're a wrestling fan who likes fast-paced action, just amazing.
Yes. And it was Ospreay and Volador who won that match.
Right. The next one was Dalton Castle.
Well, going back to the Spot Fest thing, it's like how you were saying, Spot Fest is not really a dirty word in the professional wrestling world. It's more how we are more accustomed to it with WWE, where they have spot matches, where they have single competitors wrestling in a tag team match, and they all want to get their stuff in and everything like that. And it doesn't flow correctly. With this match, even though it was a spot fest, it flowed very well with the match.
Yeah, definitely. Next match was Dalton Castle versus the Fallen Angel. I'm a huge fan of the Fallen Angel. On the exact opposite end of the spectrum, I can't stand Castle. I'm not a fan of his in-ring work. I'm not a fan of his character.
I disagree with you on that. I like Dalton's in-ring work. I do not like his character. It's a little bit too flamboyant for me, but that's just my opinion. And I like his in-ring work. He has good in-ring work.
It was a very slow, plodding match, something that you may expect from a Christopher Daniels type. And it really picked up toward the end. Daniels ended up winning. To me, the most intriguing part of this match isn't the match itself.
It's the boys.
I wouldn't even go with that one.
JK.
To me, it's what happened after the match. After the match, Cody comes out and attacks both Dalton Castle and Christopher Daniels, which is intriguing to me as to why would you have Cody Rhodes lose and then think he automatically should have a stake in the championship match.
Unless you want to go with the angle to where, Cody isn't of right of mind, but it still goes to what mindset does he have to be in? It's like, oh, I just lost this Texas bull rope match. Oh, guess what? I'm going to go do Crossroads on the ROH champion. Oh, I'm next in line for a championship match.
Well, what makes it even more intriguing is when you think Adam Cole lost at ROH 15th anniversary. He has a rematch clause for another shot. He is Bullet Club. Cody Rhodes is Bullet Club.
Mm-hmm.
So where are they going to go with this? Last night was not a good night for the Bullet Club. Let's just be honest.
Well, besides the Bucks.
Well, we'll get into that here in a minute. But it was not the best match. That one was not the best match. It was a good match. It was a solid match. But I'm not going to go out and say, go find it, go watch it. It was just
unless you like those slow moving matches, and
right.
More power to you.
So the main event. The Hardy Boys versus the Young Bucks.
AKA the Broken Hardys, because they're still doing that gimmick, even though Impact doesn't want them to. But you know what? Screw Impact.
Yeah, it was very fast paced. In total, 12 super kicks, 7 tables.
Yes.
I'm more impressed with that.
So many tables.
Yes, definitely.
And each table that they went through had a significant meaning behind it. Like, not really a meaning, but I got a little tongue-tied.
Significant?
Yeah, significant moment in that match.
Yeah, the 450 through the table on, I believe, Jeff, where the table just broke in half. But something we noticed in that match is the tables just kept shattering. It wasn't like they just, broke. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
they shattered.
They're not like WWE tables for some reason. ROH titles, when you go through, you have boom.
Yeah, we both noted that. My favorite one was, forget which one of the Bucks was on the top. Matt pushes a ladder. Jeff, no, it was Jeff. Jeff pushes the ladder over.
No, Matt pushes the ladder over, and then Jeff
springboards the Young Bucks, springboards and hits a swanton through a table, and the table just exploded. Just boom! Colt Cabana was great during this match. I love Colt Cabana on commentary. I think that's where he should stay. He's just great on the mic. I have great match. Match of the night. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Match of the weekend. If you have time, go watch this match.
Definitely watch that match.
Just find it and watch it.
It was a passing of the torch match from the Hardys to the Young Bucks in ROH. When we were discussing this earlier yesterday, we were saying that, we have the Hardy Boys, who are the number one tag team in the world, and you have the Young Bucks, our opinions, of course, Young Bucks, the second greatest tag teams in the world. Well, with the Young Bucks winning the ROH titles, we deemed the Young Bucks as the number one team in the world because it was a passing of the torch match. Now, that's an ROH, and we will get back, we will segue back to this when we start talking about WrestleMania.
I love how they're still using the broken gimmick and say the Bucks of Youth. They don't call them the Young Bucks; they're the Bucks of Youth. And as the Hardys said, they've fought everybody. They've traveled around the world. They've fought almost I'm going to go ahead and say it. They've fought everybody. When they said that they feel like they're leaving the tag team division in a good set of hands with the Young Bucks, I can't disagree. I love the Young Bucks. I think their combination wrestling, their skills together are simply wonderful, and the way they flow, the way they know where the other person is going to be, is just awesome.
Great match, great card. If we had to give Supercard of Honor a grade from F- to A+, I would give it, maybe with the bad matches who are in there and the confusion between the Cody Rhodes match interjecting himself at the end of the Daniels and Castle match. I would give Supercard of Honor maybe a B+.
See, I give it an A, just a solid A. It was start to finish. Yeah, there were a couple matches but they were still entertaining. They may not have been great, they were still entertaining. Because even in that Silas Young match, I love when Silas Young grabs the cigar as he's trying to get burned and ends up lighting it. It takes a puff and blows it out as he's scoring the winning pinfall. I really enjoyed that. Like I said, I give it an A. I really love ROH, so maybe I'm being a little biased, but all in all, I think it was great.
Now, with ROH being done and over with, we then go to
NXT.
If you haven't noticed yet, we are very opinionated. We're really passionate about our opinions, about our wrestling. And you're going to notice that throughout our podcast as we go. And these are just our opinions. We don't have like any backstage knowledge or anything like that. We just say it as we see it. And we're hoping this will entertain you. But anyways, now we go to NXT Takeover Orlando. Now, I didn't have the opportunity to watch this pay-per-view before WrestleMania because after I got done watching Supercard, I had to drive an hour home, and then I had to go to bed because I had National Guard drill today. And so once I got off of drill, WrestleMania was on, so I never got the chance to watch Takeover. But Twink did, and he's going to pretty much take over this portion of the podcast, and I'm going to interject with what I think is going to happen within the shows.
So the first match was Roderick Strong, which I love Roddy Strong, Ty Dillinger, Cassius Ohno, and I can never remember their female partner's name. Ruby versus Sanity. It was a hot start. They jumped in, started brawling. The women let it off, which was pretty okay in my opinion.
No wrestling skills.
Best part of that match at the beginning, after the brawl, tag in Cassius Ohno, and he just threw a straight right and laid him out.
Before WrestleMania started, I was watching some NXT during the pre-show when they were talking, because I don't care about what they talk about. But as soon as the Cruiserweight Championships match started, I pretty much turned it off. But I did see that match, and straight up, Cassius comes in, and dude with the goatee and the comb over here, he just goes BAM! And he just flops.
One thing I noticed about that match was how over is Ty Dillinger.
Dillinger is as over as Daniel Bryan was.
I even on the main roster, I think you could bring him up to the main roster and interject him into a decent storyline go. The crowd chants 10 whenever the refs count.
Whenever the refs are counting out or anything, they go 10, 10, 10.
And when he came out at number 10, that was awesome at the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
So he's just over. Lots of action in this match, start to finish.
Really entertaining match.
I have one complaint.
Yeah,
the wrong team won.
I second his complaint because I don't think if Takeover Orlando is like WrestleMania, it's the season finale of that season of wrestling where you should have almost every good guy, quote unquote, win their match as a closure.
I don't have as much problem with that because sometimes you want a further story, and there's a match in here that furthers a story that I think could be very intriguing.
But with
Dillinger being so over, is it not time to first off give him a push in NXT? I think him and Bobby Roode would be a fantastic match, or maybe even bring him up to the main roster, put him on SmackDown, and let him go after the IC title.
Dillinger has been on NXT he's been with NXT since they were FCW. It's time for him to come up. It really is. If Royal Rumble was the indication of how over he is, it's time for him to come up. Even though in NXT he didn't win any titles, but because of his ring work and because of his charisma and because of his gimmick and because of the total package, he is so over that he would do amazing on the main roster if you put him in a decent storyline and you don't have him jobbing every time that he comes out. That's what screwed over Tyler Breeze so hard. Even though his gimmick is kind of dumb, but his in-ring ability is great. All you have to do is repackage Tyler Breeze into a more serious competitor. He is a threat to either the United States title or the IC title. And that's how I